Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're going to be talking about Netflix is my downtime. I want to start off this video by asking you, what do you think the point of downtime is? If you were to think about the actual reason for having downtime, what is it? And secondly, do you think that Netflix would be congruent with it? Now, I'm going to tell you what I think my definition of downtime is. I think the point of downtime is to, usually before bed, to calm yourself down. Right. So if we've got an activity like Netflix that is hyper stimulating your dopamine receptors and you're sort of watching it getting fired up, you're not exactly getting in the mood to sleep, especially if you're watching something like a horror movie, something that's intense, full of pleasure. It's bringing you up here and you need to be down here. Then ask, is Netflix really the best activity for downtime? And we both agree probably not. When you put it like this, it seems pretty ludicrous that people are even watching Netflix for their downtime, wouldn't you agree? I used to have this idea that Netflix would be really good for my mental health if I were to watch it because it makes me feel happy, and that's mental health, right? That's a 3-year-old's definition of mental health. Right? If you're an adult, you can realize you don't need to be happy all the time. Now, sometimes you might want to be happy. That's cool. I want to be happy sometimes as well. I don't want to be feeling sad all the time, I'll be completely honest, but I don't think we should aim to be happy all the time. And I was sort of realizing, I'm going, yeah, bro, this is good for my mental health. But the more I watch Netflix, the more my mental health goes in the bin. Then it's not really good for my mental health, is it? It's not really beneficial for me to be watching a whole bunch of Netflix. And I was noticing as well, I'm not able to focus as much on tasks because I'll constantly be drifting off thinking about a Netflix show or whatever. So it had a negative effect on my mental health, which I was watching it for. Had a negative effect on my ability to focus. So is it really making me a better individual? Watching this isn't really that good for you, and you kind of know it. If you want to watch your Netflix, go ahead, that's fine. I do not care. If you want to go and do that, go ahead. You're able to make your own decisions. You're an adult. I think you're able to do what you want with your life. That's absolutely fine. Answer this. Why are you watching Netflix? That's the question. If you want to relax at the end of the night, I think most people do, why is Netflix your source of relaxation? Surely there'd be better forms of relaxation, right? So why Netflix? At the end of the day, someone's going to have to watch Netflix. I mean, it's probably $1 billion corporation. I don't really look at the stock prices for Netflix or whatever, or how much it's worth, but it's probably $1 billion corporation, right? So it's like Andrew Tate says, someone has to flip the burgers. And there's nothing wrong with flipping the burgers, but is it what you want to do? And I say to people that working flipping burgers, that's fine, but is it what you want to be doing? No, it's not. Okay, then you should change things. And the modern world's going to convince you that, you've got an issue if you want to change your circumstances, that you should just accept everything as it comes to you. It's weak and pathetic. You need to, if you don't like the situation that you're in, you need to actively change it. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. I want you to drill that into yourself, because no one's coming to break you out. No one's coming to buy you a nice car. No one's coming to buy you a nice house. You have to do it yourself. Now, you can work with others, but the point is, unless you act, nothing's going to happen. You have to act. I want you to think about this long and hard. Next time you're sitting there watching Netflix, I mean, we'll fall into that. I sometimes fall into that. Think to yourself, is this really what I want to be doing with my time? Is this truly the best I can become as a human? And if the answer is no, and you want to be a better individual, then I think you know the answer, G. Put down the Netflix, get to work. Because, like I've already said, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to do the work for you. You have to do it yourself. If you want to be excellent in anything, I mean, all of the great people like Arnold, all the people that genuinely did something with their life, they were an immigrant or whatever, they came from nothing. A lot of the time it was feeling terrible. A lot of the time it was acting when they didn't want to. That's life. I say this to people all the time. It's the most understood Bible verse, yet most people don't understand it. The Bible verse is, as a man sows, so shall he reap. So what you put in, you'll get out in direct proportion to. So let's say you work out for a year. As a man sows, working out, so shall he reap. Aesthetic body. And that's the equation. And I hate to call you out like this, but I'm going to have to do it, mate. I was sitting with a buddy the other day and he goes, it's really unfair that my brother, he looks good and I don't. And I said to him, well, gee, he's been working out for 3 years. You haven't been consistent with the gym, so you can't get pissed off because you didn't sow, so you didn't reap. The dog's just passed. She's chilling. She gets it. She's smarter than some of you. As a man sows, so shall he reap. So if you don't want to put in life, that's fine. You won't get out. If you're prepared to put in, if you're prepared to face the uncomfortable, then gee, you're chilling. You're ahead of most of the people because most of the people don't want to act. The requirement for success is not that high. They were talking about podcasts, right? If you make it past episode 3 of a podcast, you've beat 90% of people. 90% of people don't get past episode 3. And the 10% that do, 90% of those don't get past episode 20. So if you make it to episode 21, you're in the top 1% podcasters of all time. I heard that and I was like, bro, the standard is not that high anymore. What is that, like half a year's work? They were saying that on the podcast. No one even wants to do that. So that's where your standard is. You have to realize that back in the 1600s or whatever, it was really hard to become great because you had to be a king. You were either a king or a peasant. But now you've got the opportunity. But we're lazier than ever. You choose what you want to do with your day. It's completely up to you. If you want to watch Netflix, go ahead. I think it's a waste of time personally. I think there are better things you could allocate your time to. I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. And as always, have a good one.